In the still of the night on October 22, 1983, Navy photojournalist Joe Chacon went to sleep in his barracks in Beirut, Lebanon. All was peaceful. He awoke the next day to the sound of an eerie rumbling, an ear-shattering blast, and the harrowing cries of the injured. A suicide bomber had just driven a truck laden with the equivalent of 6 tons of TNT into the 4-story Marine barracks next door. After initially looking for and helping survivors, the sailor was ordered to grab his camera and document history. The smoke billowing from the buildings, the Marines helping their comrades in arms, and the resulting destruction from the suicide attack. 220 Marines died in that attack. It was the Marine Corps' largest single-day loss since the Battle of Okinawa during World War II. Half a world away, coincidentally on the island of Okinawa, Japan, my fellow battalion members and I felt the loss to the core. Marines and former Marines the world over mourned that day. It was a day the Corps would not soon forget. It's difficult to explain the brotherhood and the sense of Semper Fi that exists in the Marine Corps to someone who has never served in the Corps. But something that happened pretty soon after the attack in Beirut serves to illustrate how deep the ties run. Marine Commandant Paul X. Kelly, shown to the left of then Vice President George Bush, visited the wounded. One young enlisted Marine had been flash blinded by the blast. When the general visited his bedside, the young Marine couldn't tell that it was really the Commandant of the Marine Corps who came to visit him. The general decided to prove it. With a Navy photographer on hand to capture the moment, the general bent down and the wounded Marine reached up and felt the 4 stars on General Kelly's lapel. You could almost see tears forming in General Kelly's eyes in that photo. When you have served in the United States Marine Corps, or any branch of the service for that matter, and you understand the sacrifices that young men and women make to serve their country, that feeling never really leaves you. When I moved to the Baltimore, Washington area, I was surprised to learn that the Baltimore, Washington International Airport was the busiest civilian airport in terms of the number of military flights it received, with people on board from Iraq, Afghanistan, and other places where the war on terror is being fought. I was even more surprised to learn about Operation Welcome Home Maryland, a group of volunteers that sends people up to Baltimore, Washington Airport 15 to 25 times a month to greet returning service members. The group's mission is even more appreciated from someone who grew up during the Vietnam era, who saw soldiers treated with disdain. While the war on terror may have some divisiveness at home, Operation Welcome Home Maryland transcends political lines to focus on what's important, welcoming the troops and thanking them for their service. My name is L.A. Lubert, and I'm a former U.S. Marine. I know what it's like to be stationed overseas and have no one to greet you when you come back home from your service there. I can only imagine what it's like to come back home from a combat tour and have no one there to greet you. Operation Welcome Home Maryland, with its 17 team leaders and multitude of volunteers, gives the returning troops a much-needed shot of moral support. For all of the volunteers, and the service members, of course, I give a heartfelt Semper Fi and a thank you.